Awesome. Looks like I am live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's session. I'm super excited to be here. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. Haven't been feeling too well, but I'm excited to be here to really talk about how to scale a beauty brand past a growth plateau. Hey, naturally, Larissa, how are you doing? Hey, Vipari, how are you guys doing? I'm so excited to be here. Today, I'll be talking about how to scale your e-commerce beauty, particularly your beauty brand, past a growth plateau. But these insights are still applicable to anybody who has an e-commerce business. I really want to talk about what happens when you feel capped, because a lot of times people are like, what do I need to do? What do I need to focus on? And if you are new to my experience, we've had so many new people reaching out to me and finding me through either social media or my podcast. My name is Maureen Mwangi, and I am a brand growth strategist. And right now I primarily focus on teaching beauty brand entrepreneurs the sales and marketing strategies they need in order to turn their beloved product brands into a household name. So that's who I am. So if you're brand new to my experience, I just wanted to introduce myself. So here's why you are experiencing a plateau in your business. The number one reason you're experiencing a plateau in your business is because you haven't really learned the process and the formula of building a brand with scientific precision. So you're pretty much guesstimating, you're pretty much doing trial and error and really trying to figure out what exactly is needed for my business. And so you're listening to anything out there that tells you do this to grow your brand. But here's the thing. Branding is more of a science than it is an art. I'm going to say that again. Branding is more of a science than it is brand building is more science than art. And big brands don't build a brand by trial and error, so neither should you. And so here's why you're experiencing a growth plateau. Number one, you probably have incorrect pricing. And if you have incorrect pricing, you probably don't have the profit that you need to have in your business. So there's no cash flow left in order for you to fulfill large orders or to continue expanding. The second thing is you're running expensive ads that do not produce a proper gain, especially right now with what's happening in the digital media space. If your 4 pillars or your foundational levers in your business are not in place, then you are struggling. And what are the 4 foundational things that you need to have in order to ensure that you can continue to be sustainable in the long run, regardless of what happens? Write this down. Number one, a very dialed in customer acquisition plan, meaning you're attracting the right customers who are willing to pay the price of your product, whether or not you are running a promotion. The second pillar that drives profitability is customer retention. Many of us in the growth stage, we do a fantastic job of really just focusing on attracting new customers, but we really don't find a way on retaining them. If you have 2-3 people in your business right now, are you taking good care of them? Are you retaining them? Are you communicating with them? Doesn't have to be manual, but do you have a system in which you put in place to connect and engage with that audience that has already trusted you with their first dollar? The third pillar is customer loyalty. How does customer loyalty come in place? Customer loyalty is this whole concept that we all talk about, where people are talking about you when you're not there. And how do you ensure customer loyalty? First of all, you have to make sure that your product is delivering on the value and the promise that you're articulating. And how do you drive that? It's really just making it seem like you're actually addressing your customers and connecting with them and finding out what is it that is working and what can you do to replicate it. I say this because as small businesses, we want to run like big businesses. But unfortunately, if the foundation is not there to be like a big business, you're losing you're losing your power because you're not connecting with your audience at an intimate level when you have the ability to do so. Let me give you an example. If somebody purchased a product from you, if they purchased a hair care product from you, and you know, like if they're using it correctly, within 30 days or 60 days, they need to have seen some results. Are you connecting with them with just it could be a simple email, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing email or text message marketing, are you like literally sending them a message like, hey, you literally just purchased our product 60 days ago. How is that going for you? Right? Automation right now, some softwares will allow you to put these messages or set up these emails that go out. So you know you set it up as the CEO, but your audience doesn't know that. For them, they just usually like, oh my God, they just sent me a message. Also, the third thing could be showing up for your showing up live, like really just coming on and having a conversation and, hey, if you bought my product, let's just do a live Q&A. People want to feel like they're connecting with the founders. Just come on, do a live Q&A. Hey, I'm doing a live Q&A on my hair serum. Let me know. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use it, what the hair serum is all about. And if you've purchased the product before, just drop your questions in the Q&A box right now and let's have a chat. These are the things that drive customer loyalty, that allow your business to run organically and still make money without expensive paid ads. And then the fourth pillar is customer lifetime value. I'm going to give you a high-level overview of what customer lifetime value is, but I did a really nice training on this in my feed right now, and it's called the one foundational element that is required to scale. Go back to that video or send me a DM and I will send you the link to that video. I really went deep when I talked about the customer lifetime value, but basically what the customer lifetime value is in a nutshell, is the customer worthy enough for the cost that it's costing you to acquire them? That's all I want. It's like literally, are you maximizing the lifetime value of that audience? If they buy you, if they bought one product from you, are you upselling them to something else with a complementary product that will allow them to receive the true transformation? Those are the four things. So the four things to ensure profitability in your business: customer acquisition, customer retention, customer loyalty, and ensuring you have your customer lifetime value. I'm seeing the questions. I'm going to answer them towards the end of the live. But one question that has come right now is, but most customers don't like to give feedback. Just keep doing it. You'll find people who are more willing to give feedback. If you have to do this, you can incentivize your audience to give feedback. I have a client who has a rewards program where if the customer gives a feedback, they get like 5 points off or $5 off their next purchase. So do it organically. Sometimes you don't have to incentivize people, because you also have to remember, if you don't have the accurate pricing strategy, that $5 off, you're giving it out of your profit. So you have to make sure that you have the right pricing architecture to support some of these things. But that's why I usually recommend doing it without incentivizing first and then incentivize later. The people who are genuinely are willing to give feedback. And if you don't want the majority, just use your top. You all have like your VIP clients. Use your VIP clients. Like literally, just use them. We're all small business owners. This is all possible for us. The third thing that is happening, if you're guesstimating, if you're building your business by trial and error, you probably have inaccurate salary caps that are not aligned with your current revenue stage. I'm going to say that again. You're probably paying people more than you should be paying them, given the stage of revenue or that you are in your business. There is a threshold. Yes, there is a formula in what you're supposed to be paying your person if you're making X amount of money. So if you're overpaying, just ask yourself right now, you overpaying people, that is why you're not seeing anything being left in your pocket. The other reason why you're probably experiencing a growth plateau is overspending on inventory. Overspending on inventory. One of my biggest biggest recommendations is let your marketing fuel your inventory repurchasing. Why do I say that? If you do things consistently, you're collecting data in your business. When you're collecting data in your business, data does not lie. Data shows you when you make a ton of sales and when you don't make a ton of sales, aka seasonality. So please look at the seasonality of your business and order appropriately. Don't order inventory because you feel like ordering inventory. And if your question right now is, we had one client called Anne. I think you guys saw her video last week where she was telling us, like, my biggest concern is I can be able to fulfill the inventory that is required of me. And I'm like, that's a very good problem to have. If you're asking yourself, like, how do I fulfill this inventory? Your marketing is working. So the question now is if you can see, based on the data in your business, you're able to see how much you're selling and when you're selling it. And so if you can see those patterns, it's just a matter of now thinking about how much more do I need to add during those seasons. And if I don't sell that, can I shift that volume to the lower months? So now, instead of dealing with an inventory issue, now you're dealing with how frequently do I want to control my marketing and my sales efforts. Like, that's why I say, like, this is all science. That is why if you in the corporate world, in the big brand world, there's a supply team, there's a demand planning team, there is a commercialization team that does the selling, you have the marketing team. Within the marketing team, you have those that are working on innovation strategies, you have those that are working on activities like in-store and digital activities, and you have those ones that are tallying and collecting the data, which is what I was being paid to do, to really support these teams and show them how much you're selling, what's the velocity like, what's the distribution like, you name it. And that's why I really share this information so that I can show you that you don't need to guesstimate your way to building a sustainable e-commerce business. And now the one thing I want you to understand is, as businesses, you have to collect all your data. You have to collect all your data. Why do I say this? The reason why it's become impossible to do any paid activity right now, and why majority of the people are feeling so stressed, is because we've lost the data that Facebook had before. We cannot retarget the way we used to retarget before. It's impossible for us to buy the cheap customers that we were getting before. We've lost that. So the accuracy isn't there anymore. But the biggest opportunity right now for you guys is knowing that, hey, I need to collect all my data from all different sections of your business. Your marketing, your sales, your orders, all of that. So you need to be really collecting that data and looking at it. It's not enough just to collect it, but look at it and make informed decisions based on what those numbers are telling you. The other reason why you're probably experiencing a plateau is you're mismanaging your cash. Many of us, when we start businesses, and I was also there, I'm just being very honest, I treated my business like an ATM. I was seeing money, the money is there, I can just swipe the card and buy what it is that I want. Honey, that's not the case. And so you have to learn, like, how much do I need to have operating as my operating costs? How much do I need to have as savings to build up my working capital? How much do I need to have in an emergency fund if I don't make sales? And then how much do I need to pay myself? Like, honey, these things are things that nobody talks about. Some people do talk about, but I literally had to learn the hard way. I treated my business like an ATM. So money come in, swiped it, and I used it. But you have to remember, every dollar that comes in your business has a purpose. And this, if you want to learn more about this, if you're curious to understand this whole concept of money management in entrepreneurship, please go and read The Profit First if you've never read it. The book is called Profit First. It's a phenomenal book. When you're starting off, it might be hard to implement, but as you continue growing and scaling, that is something that you will want to leverage. But also you will notice majority of the accountants start using it. So that's one thing that, just go check it on Amazon. It's called The Profit First by Mike. So that will give you an understanding of what money management, cash management looks like, how inventory securing and inventory saving looks like. The last thing is you are doing complicated messaging and marketing campaigns that are decreasing conversion. So if you're experiencing growth plateau, is you're using complicated messaging and marketing strategies that are decreasing conversion. This is one thing you have to understand. Scaling, if you want to scale, please simplify everything in your business. Simplify your product assortment, simplify your messaging, your marketing strategy, simplify your order fulfillment strategy, simplify your operating model on the back end. Just literally simplify everything, because scaling is all about ensuring that everything you do it well, and you can repeat it over and over again before you add something else. Let me give you an example of how this plays out in the product space. So for some reason, everybody has a fear that they cannot sell less than 3 products. Why? Because people will judge them that they don't know what they're doing. Honey, if you have 3 products and 5 products, you're doing the right thing. Why? First of all, that infrastructure streamlines your messaging. So if you're selling a kit, I'm going to use, what do I feel like talking about right now? I'm going to use hydration kit, a hair care hydration product. And you have a shampoo, a conditioner, and a hair oil. And you know that those 3 products support with hydration. If you launch your business with these 3 products, everything in your business will always fall back to these 3 products when it comes to sales, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to inventory management, when it comes to all things customer fulfillment. So you will know your business in and out, and you won't have any confusion because you're only focusing on 3 things. Now decide, because you've seen your neighbor, you've seen your competitor adding a hair mask. They're adding a hair mask, or they're adding a serum, a hair serum to support with curly hair. Now we've moved from hydration to hair serum and a mask to support with tightening or making your curls tight. Those are 2 different products, two different sets of products with different messaging strategies. Now, what happens? Every day or every month when you're developing your marketing strategy that you should be doing, you cannot delegate your marketing to somebody else. Nobody is going to do it as well as you would, whether they have experience or not. If you've not documented your process, they're not going to do it well. You're supposed to train somebody on your process, on your philosophy, and let them execute what you've proven out. If you haven't proven out your marketing and your messaging strategy, you cannot delegate it. I've said that. Yes, you cannot delegate it. There's a habit of wanting to delegate things early on, but what are you delegating if you don't know what you're delegating? So now you have 2 different messaging. So every single month, when you're developing your marketing calendar, what happens? You have to think about how you're going to tell a story on your hydration kit. Then you have to figure out how you're going to tell a story on your curly hair set. And so you're doing 2 things, like you've literally diverged your attention from what you were doing very well, one single product, one single messaging, to now 2 things, and you're trying to balance it out. Guess what happens? You get exhausted and you confuse your audience. So you notice your sales tanking because now people don't understand what you're doing. Or a lot of people now, the people who are buying your original product get super excited and they go and buy the new product. So you're shifting the sales from what was selling before to something new. And now this is what I constantly talk about, cannibalizing your best seller. And if you haven't made $1 million just yet, you are losing money if you're experiencing cannibalization. Why? Because you don't have an audience size to support the addition, the addition of a new product. You don't have it. And so that is why it's important to make sure that you're not complicating your business model, but more importantly, you're not complicating your messaging and your marketing strategy, because that impacts conversion. And when it impacts conversion, it impacts sales, and then you start experiencing a plateau. And when you experience a plateau, what people end up doing is changing their strategy. And when you change your strategy, you have to remember you're starting over again. And if you're starting over again, you have to give that strategy time for it to play out. Your business is usually 90 days behind you. So whatever you are experiencing right now is as a result of what happened 90 days ago. So always remember and ask yourself this question: what's prompting me to change my strategy? And are you okay with the results you're going to experience as you wait for the strategy to catch up with you? And that's why guesstimating literally just sets you up for frustration and overwhelm, and doesn't set you up for long-term success. And the only way you can be able to navigate this or bypass this whole guesstimating trial and error is through scientific precision, looking at the data that you have, small data and big data. One person buying one product, that's a data point. Two people buying your products, that's a data point. Because without that, you're pretty much guessing. And it's like throwing darts at the wall and really relying on pure passion to see you through. And that's not a recipe for scaling. That's not how you scale. And many people always are like, I'm not going to look at my numbers because when I look at my numbers, I'm disempowered. Like it shuns my it doesn't make me creative. It tells me what not to do. But this is the thing. If you don't start understanding this whole concept of following a surgical approach or building your business through scientific precision, your creativity isn't fully being allowed to soar. Why? I'm going to give you an example. Go back to the example I talked about. If you're selling a hair care product that the first iteration, the first product you launched with was a hydration mask, and then you're guesstimating, you're now creating something totally different that has to do with curly hair. This is completely out of your territory. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. If you were literally doing things the way they're supposed to be doing, the question you would be asking yourself is, what is a complementary product that will allow me to still get my existing customers to buy from me, but also bring a newer audience that doesn't divert my messaging? Like, that's what innovation is all about. Innovation is not just creating a new product for the sake of creating a new product. Innovation is creating a new product that is incremental to your existing product assortment in such a way that it still allows the existing audience to buy, but also still brings you a newer audience. And so if it's something like the hydration, if it was a hydration kit, or let's say you had a hydration kit, you know what I would probably innovate? I'm just telling you, I know I don't have a product-based business. I would probably create a product that will enhance, will allow the customer to seal in more moisture. So if they're washing, if your customer is somebody that's DIYing and washing their hair at home, could it be the what do you call it? The hydration, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, that hydration equipment, the mist that they can hold their hydration. Or it could be a hydration cap. Let me keep it simple, a hydration cap. that's complementary to what they're currently buying and still brings in a new audience, instead of going to get a completely new product that deals with curly hair because you've seen Pattern Beauty having a line for 4C, 4B, 3C, 3A. And that's why I keep saying, like, just don't copy competitors, because you just don't understand what their business model is. And particularly, you just don't understand what their financial infrastructure is, because if people have funding, they have money to quickly test out and see if something works. But many of us, as we're trying to get to the $1 million runway, we're bootstrapping our way through things. And so if you're bootstrapping your way through things, honey, please be smart about it. Like, please, that's the one thing I beg all of you on my podcast, on my lives, be smart about it. Because what happens is, if you do something wrong, get this on the call, probably going to shut my business down in 12 months. But you probably didn't need to do that. And then also, if you don't have the scientific precision as a concept in your world, you're going to be distracted all the time worrying about cash. You're always going to be distracted, always worrying about cash. You're going to constantly be concerned about payroll, and then you're going to be really focusing on hustling for the next sale instead of looking at long-term growth. This is what happens when you're guessing, you don't have a blueprint, it's always trial and error, because it's like, what's the next thing that I need to do in order to make my business move? And sometimes it's never a strategy issue. Sometimes it could be your own personal perspective or your own personal shift. Sometimes it's never a strategy issue. Sometimes it could be either 1 month you decided not to show up. You decided, I'm not going to be vulnerable. You decided, I'm not going to speak my truth. So what are you doing? You're just putting plain cookie cutter content that anybody else is putting out there. But maybe what your audience needed to hear that week was what made you create what you created. It could be maybe the why has been lacking, or you're not choosing to be vulnerable. You're not willing to speak up. And so this is really what leads to plateau in your business. But one thing I want all of you to understand, many of you in my audience want to play big. That's just who I attract, because that's just who I am. And that's because I know it's available to you. It's not rocket science. It's nothing. It's just, if you can believe, if you can understand you're worth it, believe in yourself, and be willing to do what it takes to get the success that's available to you, it happens. But that will only happen if you start thinking big, because big brands get big by thinking big. And in order for you to start thinking big, you have to start asking yourself, what are the things I need to change in my business right now in order to think big? What are the things that I need to shift within myself in order to play big? Because also you really, really have to understand this. Your business cannot outgrow your personal growth. So let me explain what I mean. You want to make 30K months in your business right now. You're doing 10K months. The gap, the 20K gap, ask yourself, who do I need to become to make that 20K? Because you've created the 10K based on your current operating reality, your thoughts, your beliefs, the actions you're taking. I've created that 10K. To create that 30K, it's a different sort of identity. So who do you need to be? What do you need to change? What do you need to say? Literally, what do you need to create or unleash inside of you to bridge that gap? That is what happens when we're small businesses. This work has to happen. And I'm saying this because I'm going to use an example. I'm not going to say the name of the person. Last week, every week in my program, we have mindset call, what I call it, the perspective shifting call. Happens every single week on Wednesday. One client came into the call And she's like, Kara leads it. I don't lead the call. I lead strategy calls. Kara leads it. And she came to the call saying, I need sales. I'm stuck. She's been saying this entire month, the month of March. And guess what happened in that call? Kara kept on asking her questions. What's holding you back? What's not happening? What is it that you're not doing? Guess what the response was? I'm not showing up for fear of my brother judging me. That obstacle, Kara navigated, gave her the solution to handle that obstacle that was showing up. Literally 4 to 5 hours, she posts in our private community that she literally just made an order or got a sale of $9,000. There was no strategy shift there. She knows the strategy. She's been in our program for 2 years now. Strategy is there. You always get your strategy from me every single month. What shifted? Just that perspective shift. And this happened again 2 weeks ago. Same obstacle that Karen was able to navigate, made 22,000. Got that message at 10. I think you all saw it on my stories at 10 p.m. And that's why I want you to understand that. Don't let anybody lie to you that it's only a strategy game. I can come here and talk about scientific precision because that's my zone of genius. And that's how I know how to build brands. But at the same time, I am well aware that to build this, the person who builds this company is a human being. It's a human being, and we're all humans. And we've all had some conditioning, some beliefs that we've experienced over and over again as we continue to grow. And that's why you have to find a way in which you can marry the strategy with the personal development so that you can grow. Because when those two things work together, oh man, everything changes. Everything changes. I've seen it. I have lived it myself. And a lot of people ask me, why did you add mindset into your curriculum, into your program? Honey, let me tell you this. I told you guys I'm not going to be selling anything I have not lived. So when I decided I want to be an entrepreneur, I was in corporate. And no shame, no hate to anyone in corporate, but honey, the corporate mentality and the entrepreneurship mentality are two different things. Hey, Miralis, how are you? They're two different things. How you think as an employee is very different between how you think as a CEO. I had to learn the hard way. So what did I do? My first investment was a business coach. God bless her soul. I love her for everything she's done. Whatever you're seeing within my personal brand, she really supported me in creating that. But before I got any results, it was a 12-month program. Within 4 or 5 months, something just felt like it wasn't working. You know, when you feel like you're doing everything, but nothing seems to be working? That's how I was feeling. I've signed a 12-month program. 4 months in, I'm not getting any results. But I'm not the kind of person to give up. Like, honey, I'm Kenyan. Like, come on. Like, if I will work I'm no stranger to hard work. Like, I will do what I need to do to get shit done. Like, that's just who I am. And so I knew I'm not giving up. Like, giving up was not in my DNA, has never been in my DNA. And by the time I'm giving up, I literally want to say I've done everything within my power to make this thing work. So a good friend of mine introduced me to a mindset mentor that was really going to focus on helping you rewire your brain so that you can start creating major leaps in your business with ease. So this investment, first of all, was the most expensive investment I've ever made. And I didn't even have the money. I literally just put it on my first credit card, the one and only credit card I've ever had, because I had a mindset belief where if I don't have the cash, I'm not going to spend on it. That was my conditioning For Kenyans, I grew up in Kenya. In Kenya, it's a cash economy. You either have the money or you don't. And if you don't have the money, you're not going to get the thing. So that was a belief that I had. Hey, you're telling me to pay you $5,000 per month for 12 months. Where the heck am I going to get that? So I put the first payment on a credit card. And once I did that, that's when my everything changed. Like, it was just questions being asked. It was just the work that I had to do, the deeper work that I had to do. What is it that you're thinking about privately that you're not articulating publicly? What is it that you're doing because you've been told that you have to do? The other thing, the second shift that I had to go through was this whole hustle and grind mentality. And as women, we're told we're strong, you can do everything on your own, you have to work 10, 15 hours, and if you're an immigrant, or if you didn't come to through school, you're probably working 3 jobs to make ends meet. So there's always this hustle and grind mentality, and that's what I believed that had to happen for me to have success. And it was even the thing in corporate, like black excellence. Like, you have to work twice as hard compared to our white counterparts. Like, this whole, like, you have to grind, you have to do everything within your power to make things work. That, let me tell you, is a mentality that will kill you in entrepreneurship. That is not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is all about articulating your value and making sure that the promise you're delivering is understood by your audience in such a way that they can believe in you and be willing to pay you the amount of money that you require. It's the same in service, it's the same in product. Think about it. If I remove myself, if you're selling a product, your product has a promise, but are you articulating it the way you know you should be articulating it? Are you articulating it based on what you have seen the market doing? That is the work that needs to happen. Secondly, pricing. Pricing. For my product people, there is a formula. For service people, it's a whole different thing. But also for my product people, there is a formula. But a lot of people are always like, are people going to pay my price point? So that is the work that needs to happen. I don't know how I got here, but literally what I'm saying is this. You cannot ignore the internal work that needs to happen in order to grow your brand or grow your business. And whatever gap you have right now, I want you to ask yourself, what do I need to do in order to bridge this gap? But more importantly, who do I need to become to close this gap? Third, it's what thought do I need to have right now to allow me to close that gap? And once you identify what is the thought, what is the next action step you would take to support that thought? That's it. Once you do that, you will get your answer. And I want you to understand, every solution is inside of you. Like, literally. And that's one thing I always tell my clients. I am here to unleash the beast inside of you. I'm not your savior. No, I'm not your savior. I'm literally your shepherd. Because everything is inside of you, but a lot of times we hold back from doing that. We hold back from saying it. We hold back from doing it. Why? For multiple reasons. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, shame, guilt, fear of failure, fear of success, all of it. And so that's why I want you to identify what exactly is missing. And if you know it's a blueprint, you don't know what it is, get the help. Sometimes we don't have a lot of money to waste. Like, literally, like, as small business owners, we do not have a lot of money to waste and risk. Identify what are the gaps that you have and then figure out who do I need to bring on my team to help me close this gap. Because some mistakes are just too expensive. Like some mistakes are just too expensive, and it's easy. Some of us can reduce those mistakes, because at the end of the day, I'm going to say this for those of you who love listening to podcasts and love listening to minority-owned success stories, please go and listen to the podcast Black on Shelf. One of my episodes will be released then pretty soon, but that podcast Black on Shelf has all success stories. Want to know what the founder of Honeypot went through? Go and listen to that. Want to listen to what the founder, Melissa, founder of the Lip Bar, go and listen to that podcast. And all of them say the same thing. If you've decided to legit make your business the next or the new household name, there's certain things that you must ensure you put in place. But more importantly, it was a whole notion of resiliency that they've constantly talked about, and really giving yourself some time to go through this process, because many of us want quick wins. Like, if I put money here, I want quick wins. But the biggest thing, it's also something that I'm actually learning right now, and I'm being vulnerable right now, is finding joy in the journey. Like this whole concept of next level, next thing. And Beatrice talked about this. Like, we've been conditioned to believe that the next level is like going up a stairs. What if the next level is going down? You know, some like those are the questions we need to be asking ourselves. And I was like, that's actually powerful, because we think about next level as going up. Who told? Is that true? Where did that come from? Right? But the premise of everything is like really finding joy in the journey and celebrating where you are, but also really understanding that if there is a problem, there's a solution right then. But the question is, what's holding you back from getting the solution? And so I don't know. I just feel like I'm talking to my friends, but anyway, so that's literally like the thing that you need to think about if you're finding yourself stuck, or if you're finding that you need something different. Because at the end of the day, this is the thing that I want you to understand. When you start, first of all, the whole personal development, in addition to like learning how to build your business scientifically, and really, I can even see Rashida here, IMO Natural, really amazing client of mine. When you really learn like the math behind business, you literally become an empowered CEO. And the thing is, you're able to, first of all, channel your creativity to things that work. Hey, my darling. Hi, my friend. You channel your creativity to things that work. But more importantly, you're selling products because they support the growth of your business, rather than selling because you want to see what is actually going to sell. So you're just literally like channeling that strategic thinking and empowerment into products that eventually sell and build the business that you want. Because otherwise, you're just literally hustling for the next sale. You're literally thinking about, how am I going to make Black Friday the biggest thing in order to see cash flow in my business, instead of thinking about, what are the products that I literally need to double down on? How do I need to segment my customers? Am I taking care of my VIP clients? Am I taking care of my semi-VIP clients and making sure I'm moving them to my VIP list? Am I really like finding a way to nurture those one-time people to move them to my semi-VIP list in order for them to become my VIP? And you only have that freedom and that empowerment if you understand that these are the foundational strategies that need to happen in order to scale your brand. And this is the thing, like, many people, I'm not the kind of person who's going to teach you like go and put $1,000 on Facebook ads today and you're going to have a quick hit. That's really not me, because for me, I just literally think about what is it that the big brands have done to create sustainability. And it's the foundational work that they've done so well that many of us miss it. But this is a good thing, and it's good, but it's also bad. It's bad from this perspective. If you depended heavily on paid ads before the changes last year, you're probably crying right now. But if you did not depend on paid ads, then you're literally now asking yourself these questions of, how do I grow my business without paid ads? And that is what creates sustainability. Because what paid ads did or have constantly done for us is we've paid our way to play this game. But you cannot pay your way throughout to play this game. Like if we go back to old school business building, looking at how my parents built their business, it started with that one person, starts with that second person, that third person, and making sure that before you add something else, like this floor is very, like the foundation for this first thing is completely dialed in. Then you add something else. Then you add something else. But along the way, I think because of how accessible information is right now, we lost that. We came in for this quick one-hit wonders. But this quick one-hit wonders, you have to pay to play. But if you don't have the money to pay to play, we're being challenged to go back to doing the things that actually worked. What are those things? Identifying what is your core product. The second thing, once you identify what is your core product, is who are you talking to? Third is speaking to them, like really speaking to them, not speaking to them at surface level. It's like speaking to them. What are their deepest fears and desires? Third, after that, nurturing, retaining, taking care of them. As you master collecting the data on the back end to determine what is the infrastructure that you need to be doing. That's pretty much the formula. And so if you do not want to waste time piecing fragmented information and strategies from experts, and you're looking to take your business to the next level, I have an invitation for you. Literally have an invitation for you. I want to introduce you. You're probably wondering, how do I work with Maureen? And we see her content. You're wondering, how do I work with me? I want to introduce you to our apprenticeship program. Apprenticeship program is a product profit lab, which is the program where we teach beauty, e-commerce entrepreneurs how to grow and scale their businesses with scientific precision and start becoming a new household names. Why did I create this? A lot of people ask me, you don't have a product business, but you're still teaching this, and you're having a lot of success and don't understand why I created this. I really wanted, first of all, I'm a product of a small business owner. My parents are small business owners, have owned a small business for 25 years. And within the 10-year mark, my mom really struggled to scale that business. The business is synonymous to a Home Depot or a Lowe's here in the US, and they really struggled to scale their business. And my mom contemplated going back to do farming. Mom, if you're listening, that's the truth, right? She contemplated going back to do farming and ended up meeting one advisor from, I believe it was PwC or KPMG, that really sat with them for about a week to help them create the infrastructure and really understand what is it that they need to do in order to scale their business. So aside from that, I was like, that is what actually informed the undergraduate program that I ended up doing, and also informed the master's program that I ended up doing. And eventually I honestly didn't think I was going to land in marketing. It just happened. And so I ended up working initially with Nielsen, where I was really doing a lot of predictive analytics. And that's when I got exposed to this whole concept of big brands and how big brands do branding. And over time, after doing the same thing over and over and over again, I understood that these are the principles that these guys do well enough. And that's why they've been able to maintain market share. Because remember this, many people ask me, why do big brands do continue doing marketing? First of all, the reason why they do marketing, to be honest, if it's something that is well known and has brand mind share in the mind of the consumers, is because they want to keep reminding you. When you see a brand doing heavy like digital marketing, that when they're priming a new audience to buy. Think about Super Bowl. Why will you find the big brands in Super Bowl? They just want to remind you, don't forget that Tostitos still exists. And sometimes you will find that the Super Bowl ad creative is for the brand you know, but for a new product they're launching. Why? Because they know they have the market share. They want to constantly remind the audience that, hey, we're still here, but also prime them with either a new product or a new innovation. So when I understood that, I was like, okay, but these principles, where are small business people? How come they're not being taught this? And this is why I decided to create this, because I didn't want people to make mistakes when I know in reality, like, we sell very good products. Like, we really, as small business owners, we put a lot of thought into it. And the reason why we sell very good products is because we end up creating a product that is a solution for a problem that you once experienced. So you're literally like saying, I don't want my niece or my nephew to go through hyperpigmentation or acne. So you're finding a solution for that. And so I was like, if nobody's consulting and helping and advising small businesses to do this from an organic standpoint, because at that point in time when I came into this world, it was the whole concept of drop shipping, was the whole concept of running paid ads, was the whole concept of literally paying money to pay. What about the people who don't have the money? Like, what about the people who are literally bootstrapping? And that's why, for me, I usually say my job is to mistake proof what everything that you would be experiencing. My job is to save you from that social media manager that you're just about to pay to help you with social media when you haven't clarified your offer. My job is to help you make sure you hire the right next person to support the growth of your e-commerce business because your business needs it, not because you're trying to offload the responsibility of being a CEO. My job is to make sure you're not investing in product photography when what you should really be doing is showing up and selling where you're supposed to be selling. My job is to make sure you're not burning the candle on both ends trying to recreate this new thing when you could actually be selling using repurposed content. This is something that's happening with one of our clients. Literally joined us in October. She's a guru at marketing. Like, she loves marketing. She's built a community. Right now, she's on vacation in Kenya, but she's still making money from repurposed content. She's not doing any live. She's showing up saying, hey, but it's all repurposed content. So my job is to make sure that, hey, we're creating the infrastructure required for you to scale. Because you know what? That client, her next hire, to be honest, is going to be a marketing ops coordinator. Take that out so she can focus on product development. My job is to make sure you are pricing your product appropriately and you are not absorbing some costs that you cannot afford. Right? If this is resonating with you, yes, show me some love on the chat. If you're pricing incorrectly, if you're doing this whole multiplier strategy, have no idea where it came from, or you're looking at competition, you're losing money. You're literally losing money, hence inaccurate pricing strategy. So literally, why you see me do what I do, why I put all this content, why I will show up even when I am sick, is because my job is to make sure that everyone who's bootstrapping their way to building their business has the correct foundational principles to continue growing and scaling their business. And also showing people that it is possible. Like, it is possible. Many of you are smart, but sometimes it's like the perspective shift, the mindset shifts that need to happen, and then you're just off to the races. And because big brands, like I said, don't guess their way through things, I don't believe that you should be guessing your way through things. And that's why, like, the people ask, like, what is the promise of the program? Four things. Write this down if you're a note taker, or if you're considering getting on a call with me. Number one, the first thing we will do, and also some of my clients are in the chat, they will help literally reinforce this message, is we're going to build the organic foundation. Literally build the organic foundation, dialing in your pricing, your positioning, and your product assortment. As you can see, Rashida is here. Rashida had, I believe we cut your product assortment by 79%. Like, she literally realized 20% of her product assortment could give her the sales she really needed for her business. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we'll help you interpret the data your business already has to make sales. My job is to teach you to be empowered. You guys are not going to be playing a Maureen show. Like, literally, you get what you want, and if you can borrow these principles and implement them, when I'm not there, I've done my job. Like, legit, I've done my job. You're not playing a Maureen show. You're playing your CEO show, your Lanitra show, your Mama show, your Esther show, your Lakeisha show. You're playing your show, but you have the principles required to allow you to play your show. Third thing, we'll expose you to the strategic growth levers required to scale your business. You don't pull all levers at the same time. You pull different levers depending on the season of business you are in. The third thing, give you insider secrets if you want to get into retail. We had one client, Vanessa, got into retail last year, and she's doing well. So that's a bonus. But our core premise is build your business organically, help you interpret the data that you have, and expose you to strategic growth levers that your business needs in order to scale, but also give you bonus insider strategies if you want to get into retail, give you the templates if you want to do wholesale. We'll give you all of that. So this program is designed to move you from growth to scale. So if you've had traction, or if you're like, you know what, I need to build this thing sustainably, this program is for you. This program is not for somebody who is coming seeking product development support, any technical support when it comes to the designing of the product. It's best suited for someone who already has a product on hand. That's when you can get the biggest return on your investment. That is when you can start implementing the strategies and seeing the results so that we can tweak. Because at the end of the day, we tweak. If it's not working, we're tweaking. And so what is the framework that we follow? I know my people are like me, fact finders. So I'm going to give you the 4 phases that we actually go through. The first phase is developing your brand secret sauce. The first thing is developing your brand secret sauce. And why is this important? I want to make sure that you've dialed in your product positioning, you've dialed in your pricing, and you have the right distribution strategy to beat the market with competitive advantage. That's the first phase. The second phase that we focus on is we build your obsession, or what I call the cult following. And how does this happen? This happens with great messaging. A great message, great product, and building that wow factor that will allow you to, first of all, retain the people that you have, acquire new customers, but at the same time, start to look different compared to what everyone else is doing. And looking different doesn't just come from your product photography or your brand colors. Looking different a lot of times manifests based on how you are showing up for your audience. And a lot of times when you're showing up, you're saying something. You're conveying something. You're articulating something. That articulation is what you require, and that's what needs to be seen. And this is for somebody who wants to create something for the long haul. If you're just doing this to double, first of all, as if you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, you're going to get results that just look exactly like that. So if you're willing to go all in, just the same way I go all in, you're going to get those results. The third lever is maximizing your sales by mastering the levers of growth. So you can produce sales consistently without having to rely on any Facebook or paid activity. And let me tell you right now, it may be hard. If you were doing ads, it's probably hard for you. But how I reframed this whole situation is, what can I do to still keep my business running even when I'm not paying to play? That requires a different identity. That requires different way of showing up. That requires a lot of creativity. And many of us are being challenged to do that. And if you happen to be affected by that, if you haven't cried, cry. I cried. I did everything. I did all the crying. I vented to my husband, to all my friends. My friends know I've said this over and over again. But one thing, you're a CEO. You can solve problems. What question do you need to ask to change this? And I found a recipe. It's showing up. It is showing up more than you've ever shown up before. It's articulating the things that your audience is privately thinking about that they're publicly not saying. It's literally putting out that content that connects with people emotionally. That is the secret and the recipe if you want to really continue being here without paid ads. It's also you like really being like, who do I need to call? Where do I need to go? What events do I need to show up? It's more time. Now, this is the thing. When you're building a business, you have time or money. If you have time, you do these things. If you don't have time, you use your money to help you achieve the results. But right now, I don't think we're going to, I don't think we have enough money in our bank account just sitting to waste it without a return on investment. If you have, good for you. Good for you. God bless your soul. And many of us, if you're bootstrapping, we don't have that. So you have time. What are you going to do? Where are you showing up? Right? It's a vulnerability. This is the stuff that we have to do. This is the stuff. I'm doing it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm doing it. Y'all are seeing me putting out a lot of content more than I used to do. Really focusing in on dialing in on my podcast. My podcast is like my bread and butter right now, as well as my live stream. Attending speaking engagements, attending events. Me speak on stage, Maureen? Heck nah, shit. All this you see, I learned it. That's what I'm telling you. Like these are skills that you learn, and a lot of it starts when you start shifting your perspective, shifting how you're talking to your brain. Because a lot of times we listen to our brain. I don't listen to my brain. I learned the art of not listening to my brain. I talk to my brain like a human being. When you talk to your brain like a human being, you get the solutions to the answers that you require, and they show up. And the gaps that need to be filled show up. And then the fourth thing is we systematize your business. Sorry, my friends, I'm just talking to you like I'm having old-fashioned whiskey with you guys because that's what I drink. But I think it's just, I said this even with my clients last week, that right now I'm going to support my audience and my existing clients like human beings, because the seasons are rough right now. We're experiencing tough times. But I want to show you that this is not the end of the road. But I want to show you that it's important for us to think differently and do things differently if we still want to continue really playing this game. Because now a lot of times what's happening right now, it's like the algorithm is not showing my posts. The algorithm is only playing to the videos. I don't want to do reels because everybody is dancing. Honey, you can play the real algorithm, but you don't have to dance. You don't have to. But you could come and do a 30-minute and talk about what you're selling and post it. But that's the thing. But the thing is, I want you to understand that when an obstacle shows up, if you're a CEO, it's your opportunity to think about, what solution can I create from this? What solution can I find based on what's happening right now? Don't beat yourself. And I'm even here to tell you that we're all going through the same thing. That we're all going through the same thing. But trust me, if you choose to do the things that grassroots, what we call guerrilla marketing 101. If you can think about some of the things you can do, you'll be able to withstand what's happening right now. And so the fourth thing is systematizing your business, but really like implementing the people, the processes, and the profit structures you need in order to fulfill big orders without working more hours and killing yourself. And then the last thing as a bonus on the different phase, this is a phase 5, which is a bonus, is if you want to get retail ready, we'll teach you together, we'll tackle strategic ways on how to approach a buyer, how to show up to a buyer meeting, how to price your product for success in retail, and pretty much how to make sure you're showing demand to the buyer, even through what's happening in your site right now. So just to recap the 4 phases of our curriculum in our program, it's phase 1, developing your brand secret sauce. Phase 2 is building your brand obsession. Phase 3 is maximizing your sales. Phase 4 is systematizing your business. And as a bonus, you get to learn how to get retail ready. And so what's included in this entire apprenticeship and in this experience where we teach people how to scale their business? Number 1, you get an initial private one-on-one call with me when you sign up, where we develop your customized brand growth plan. The second thing, you get bi-weekly strategic laser coaching sessions. So where we're in a group format. Okay, so I'm back. You get bi-weekly laser coaching sessions in the group format where we're able to diagnose what's happening in your business and give you the next strategy to implement in order for you to see growth. The third thing you get is bi-weekly mindset sessions, where we talked about where Kara comes in and helps you weed out the obstacles that you're experiencing and the mindset blocks you encounter as you take the steps. These calls pretty much help most of our clients make a lot of money. Like the example I gave this month, the lady I referenced at the beginning of this live, just from the 2 calls she's had with Kara this month, she has made $30,000. The strategy is there. She's been with us for 2 years now, so she knows the strategy. But now we're getting to the next level of growth, where they say new level, new devil. So she was able to uncover the things that have been holding her back, making $30,000 from just 2 calls in this month. And this happens every single month. And then you get access to our curriculum, our step-by-step framework, where you're literally going to be focused on one thing at the same time. And the last and final thing, you get access to a private Facebook community where you have group accountability and daily support. Many people are wondering, how do you enroll? You can do it in 2 ways. You can go to the link in my bio, book a call, just click book a call. You'll be prompted to answer a few questions and you will get on a call with me. Alternatively, just send me the word big brand on my DM or comment below the word big brand, and we'll just have a literally non-salesy conversation. I've seen some people who've had a call with me. I just want to understand where you are, what's holding you back, what support you need, and really find out if would be able to support you. But if you're not able to support you, you'll get the clarity on what you need to do next. So it's pretty much either send me a DM with the word big brand, or comment the word big brand, or click the link in my bio, and we'll literally just have a conversation with you. And many of you will be like, let me think about it. Absolutely. I'm the kind of person I will say, let me think about it. But I want to give you 3 questions to ask yourself as you're thinking through this. The first question I want to ask yourself is, where would you be 6 to 12 months from now if you said yes? Where would you be 6 to 12 months from today if you had access and the support at your disposal to make the pivots, to make the edits, to customize the things that you that need to happen in your business? Where would you be 6 to 12 months from today if you had that? And the third thing I want you to ask yourself, now think about, where would your business be if you didn't have the support? Like what's at risk if you keep doing things the way you are doing? Ask yourself those 3 things. Where would you be 6 to 12 months from today if you said yes? Where would you be 6 to 12 months from today when you have the customized support to make the pivots, to make the edits, to tailor your strategy, and to support you with the perspective shifts that need to happen as you grow? And lastly, what's at risk if you continue doing things the way you're doing? Because remember, The decisions you're going to make right now will determine whether you're successful or not successful. And I want you to make decisions based on where you want to be, not where you are. Your brain has no frame of reference of what it means like to be an entrepreneur. Your brain has no frame of reference of what it looks like to make 50K, 100K per month. Your brain has no frame of reference. So you have to rely on the belief that you can do it, not your ability right now. And a lot of times that requires you to make decisions based on where you want to be, not where you are right now. And so as you consider this, that's what I want you to think about. Ask yourself, am I making a decision based on where I am? Or am I making a decision based on where you want to be? And the only thing that is required of you is to commit and decide. And you don't have to commit and decide to enroll. You just can commit and decide to literally just have a conversation with Maureen and find out if I'm doing the next thing. Like clarity is the number one thing we as entrepreneurs undervalue. And if you don't have the clarity, you're going to guess your way, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to waste a lot of money. I can see Kendra here. She's a finance person. She's a CFO. She understands these things. And with that, wrapped up for my day. So if you really, so how do you scale beyond a growth plateau? Build your business through scientific precision. Like that's the wrap up. That's the main word for today. This live is going to be on my profile. So if you want to come and rewatch it again, feel free to do so. It's also going to move to my podcast. And as always, I am sending you guys so much love, so much happiness, so much light. And if you want to really just have a conversation, just put the word big brand from this live or send me a DM and we can literally just get on a call with you and literally can get started in March. This is for the March application, the March cohort, and we can see where your business will be by the end of the year. With that, thank you, my people. I will be live again tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.